I'm Sarah Lerood, the Valley City Education Association president, and we created this video for voters to be able to get to know their school board candidates. There are 3 people running for 2 positions. Ryan Mathias is running for the rural candidacy. Sherry Horsager is a write-in for the district at large position, and Arthur Fries is also running for the district at large position. I was able to interview Sherry Horsager, and I was also able to interview Ryan Mathias, and Arthur Fries chose not to be interviewed. I hope you enjoy this way to be able to get to know your school board candidates.
I'm Sherry Horsager. I'm born and raised here in Valley City. I attended Valley City High School, graduated in 1996. From there, I went on to Valley City State University, where I obtained a Bachelor of Science in Human Resources, minoring in psychology and sociology. I also have obtained a certification from Minot State University in developmental disabilities. I recently obtained my certified professional from the Society of Human Resources. I have been with Open Door Center since 2007. In 2013, I was promoted to their human resource director. I'm married. I have 2 boys. One is 4, Jet, and then I have Jackson, who's 8. They'll both attend Jefferson in the fall. I just thought it would be a great way to give back to my school and my community. I also wanted to ensure that my children had quality education, as well as all the students in our district. That one's difficult for me. I think there's more than just one issue. I feel that several of them intertwine. I always think that safety and security of our children is very important to continue to provide a learning environment that's productive. I do, however, as the state's looking at the next biennium and the budgets, I feel that's very concerning, and a way for us to be able to secure financial stability for our school district would be very important. I'm unsure what avenues are currently being used by the school to recruit people. I tend to look at Valley City State University or surrounding colleges to be able to become talent pipelines for us, to bring in some of the new educators, as well as maybe bring them in beforehand, get them into our schools, get them to know what a Highlander is all about, show them what a great community we have. I also think that being able to continue to offer great and competitive salary and benefits so that you're able to retain the people that you currently have, as well as to obtain new educators, is wonderful. My vision for education, I would like to be able to see where education can be tailored to each student, to go on each student's weaknesses and strengths. And when you do that with a student or a teacher or anyone in general, they tend to grow and shine. I also would like to see our community become more involved, even if they don't have a child in our school district. I think there's a lot of potential for people in our community that we just haven't tapped into yet to become great supporters. Unfortunately, over the last couple of years, I've had some health issues I've overcome, so my participation has been limited. I was able to volunteer for field day up at Jefferson. I was also able to assist with one of the giant fruit salads. When I went to high school here, I was very active in choir, band, and athletics, so I really would look forward to, as my children grow in the school system, to become more active in those activities.
I'm Ryan Mathias. I'm candidate for the rural place on the school board. I've got 3 kids, Allison, Trevor, and Hadley. Allison is a senior this year, missing out on graduation and everything. Well, sort of. Hadley will be a sophomore next year, and Trevor will be going down to Washington for the first time in 4th grade. My wife Dawn and me, we do own part of Lee Rude Mathias Funeral Home. That's kind of her thing. And then I work for the Open Door Center at Thunderbird Ranch Gourmet Foods. Education. I did graduate from Valley City State University with a bachelor in social science and history. Education. So I do have that education background with me. And I never went into teaching, but I've always wanted to stay in education. Some people might think that it's my penalty or whatever, but I really enjoy it. Just being out there and doing good things for the kids. When we look at what I've been able to do as a board member, or what the board's been able to do with me as a board member, the last few years, we've kind of turned some things around. I get emails from people across the state that are administrators in other schools, and they are so proud of the direction that they see Valley City going in the state, that now Valley City is being viewed as a leader in the state, whereas a few years ago, Valley City was not viewed as a leader. And that is something that the previous board members were able to get started. And now me as current president of the board, we're doing, through our administration, we have a great superintendent that I was on that committee to hire, Mr. Johnson, and he is taking Valley City to another level. In my mind, it's funding. When we look at the dollars, your tax dollars that are being spent, we have a $12 million to $13 million budget every year, and when you look at your tax bill, a large part of those taxes are going to the school, going to the school district. So you're paying that bill every year. And so when I look at the funding, how can we bring in the iPads and more technology to better educate our kids, but be responsible to our constituents and our taxpayers? So when we start looking at funding, everyone wants a piece of that pie, and trying to get it all out there and everyone gets their share in an equitable way sometimes can be kind of tough. But we have a great business manager that sometimes I don't know how he finds the money and where he finds it from, but he tells us that everything is doing good, and according to our auditor and that stuff, it is. So he does a great job, and that's the biggest thing, is just putting the right people into the right places. Well, I think I just alluded to it. One of the biggest things that we have going for us when we recruit or keep people here is our administration right now. We have a great administration. As a board member, we don't have to fix things. Things are taken care of for us. Josh goes out, he is such a charismatic person, which is something that we picked up on right away in the interview process. So he goes out and he makes the connections that needs to be made, and he's the one that he brings in people. I've noticed that since he's been here, that we get a lot more veteran teachers applying for jobs versus rookie teachers and things like that. So we're bringing in a lot more veteran teachers that have that experience, that know how to run a classroom, know how to educate kids and things like that. So that's probably the biggest thing that I see Valley City has going for it right now is our administration when we go to recruit and retain people. My vision for education, it's kind of a whole community thing, and it's not just education. When I look at education, I think of the whole school. So things that are parts of your education, it's not just doing your math and knowing what 2 + 2 is, or where the correct punctuation is, where that comma goes. It's the social things too. Going to football games, going to basketball games, and I want to see our student body and our community take part into those things. Go into that senior high play, and that stuff. So that's what I would like to see be a bigger part of our kids' education. We put on art shows and things like that, but we need to get it out there a little bit more, and our administration is great about getting things out there, but we need to get people to actually participate and take advantage of those situations, and then we need to get our student body actually going and participating, because you know what, that's one of the greatest things when you can go to a high school basketball game and you got a student body that's maybe a little bit on the verge of being a little bit rowdy, but they're being respectful and have sportsmanship. Those memories that those kids will have, that is part of their education, and that's what I see as part of their education. Oh man, 20 years ago I was helping Dave Corwin with coaching varsity football for a few years. So I've done that. I was president of the Highliner Booster Club 1 year, so I did my 3-year term on that board. I've now been on the school board for 6 years, hoping to be able to start my 7th year in July with people's votes. Man, I've just done so many things in the community. I'm very involved in everything. Right now I sit on the activities committee and things like that. I do the finance committee. So I'm very involved in a lot of different things. When we start working with kids, I'm coaching. I think it's 7th or 8th year that I'll be coaching Thunder football. So I'm there with the kids every day during those couple months. I absolutely love that, and I do things for the kids, and that's why I want to be on the school board, is to make it better for those kids.